that operate within society. Like the attitude that we all have to science and engineering and innovation. And the time scale that we never give ourselves to wait for the return on those investments. Yes. The second to last question.
I have a question about how to speak to people who may be afraid of science, hostile to science, ignorant, unreasonable even. You showed this billboard showing Bill O'Reilly, and we all laughed because it's quite funny, but when we laugh at others and we mock them, they don't want to listen to us, they close their minds to us. How do we speak to them respectfully with humility in a way that we make ourselves understood by them and maybe get our points across?
Okay, so first, in Bill O'Reilly's case, I have no accounting for, it was obviously an attack on Bill O'Reilly, not on anybody else in particular. The fact that he kept harping on the tides, like it was clear that he just doesn't understand the tides. But then he had a rebuttal. There's another video, it turns out, where he explains what he means by the tides coming in and out. So it's his attempt at a rebuttal. But here's the thing. I find it curious that someone can earn $10 million a year, which is his annual salary, have a TV show, and celebrate the fact that he doesn't understand tides. That's just scary to me. Like I said, I think I said it earlier, either in this talk or earlier this afternoon, because I met many different student groups. There's no crying in ignorance at all. And as an educator, you work to enlighten people. This is what educators do. You don't know something? Let's talk about it. But if you don't know something, and you're proud of that, and you attack others, what are you in this? I have a hard time bringing sensitivity to that situation, where there's so many other people deserving of sensitivity. And so in the case of Bill O'Reilly, I see that as different. Okay? In the case of the billboard, that was kind of interesting because that was a billboard disrespectful of the Big Bang, right? And so you say, can I be more respectful of that? I show the billboard. And so the real issue is, at the end of the day, it's about dialogue, first of all. And so there are people like Richard Dawkins, who, if you listen to him, he's the guy who wrote the God Delusion. If you listen to him, because he's British, so he's got the British vocabulary, right, that we're all jealous of, right? The British command, he's trained at Oxford, which is where all the orators of England are trained. All the politicians come out of Oxford. And so, when he speaks, if you are not enlightened or educated, you're made to feel dirt high. And I took him to task on this. My most viewed YouTube clip is me rebuking him on his educational tactics. Just look up Tyson Dawkins. It's the number, it's millions of hits. Well, 1.5 million hits. Because I say to him, you are professor of the public understanding of science at Oxford. Yes, I am. Yet when you speak, you are so brilliant that your barbs are that much sharper as they come spewing out of your mouth. And I said, I think your message falls flat on people who are offended by you. So in fact, you are not about the public understanding of anything. You're about putting it out there and telling people they're an idiot if they don't get it, and they're smart if they do. So I accused him of being not nearly as effective as he could be if he had some kind of sensitivity to the thoughts that are going on in the mind who he's trying to communicate. That's what I said. And the audience in the room got all silent, right? None of them had heard of me, and he was Mr. Famous best-selling book author at the time, several years ago. So no one knew how he was going to react. So then he politely said, I gratefully accept your rebuke. And then went on to give an example of someone who was worse than he was at what it is that he does. So my point is, yes, there needs to be a sensitivity to others who are not where you are if you're trying to bring them to a new place. That's what any educator should do. And if you fail at that, then you're not an educator. I don't know what you are, you're just someone who likes to break rather than bring people to a new understanding. So I fully agree with you. I agree. This was just Hawaii because he's a very easy target. He gets paid $10 million a year. So he's not hurting from this. Although the audience for his show has dropped by 2/3 over the past month. I think people are losing patience with his ignorance.
So are you saying he's a lost cause?
I'm saying he's a lost cause, but other people aren't. Yeah, I give up on that. Yeah, pick your battles. The last question, that means it's got to be an awesome question because everyone's paying attention to it. Okay?
I'm not sure I can agree with that.
I'll help it out. It's half off, so I'll try to help it out. Okay, go ahead.
I have a simple comment on one of your slides where you present the different countries. First, you present them in size as they are by land area, and then you scale them. You show them scaled by what is it, how many?
Total published research papers per capita.
Yeah, and then you explain how that's a biased view of things. You know.
Well, it's accurate. It's just doesn't give you a.
You don't give you the full truth of who actually is in good standing or working away good standing. And but then you present another one with it scaled by the change in that. And while that gives another good idea, I think that becomes biased another way. In the way that, say, if a teacher grades you and you make an A every day of the class and they fail you because you didn't get any better, or you start out with an F and you end up with a C and then they pass you with an A because you got better. Does that make sense?
So what you're concerned about in that slide that I said, here's the problem, is that maybe countries are doing better, but they're all still bad. Maybe maybe we went from B to B minus, no, B plus to B, let's say. No, we went from A minus to B minus. And other countries went from F to D plus. And so, therefore, we miss the fact that we're still doing much better than the rest of them are.
So have we been declining?
In this performance metric. And let me see, if you take that number, because it's basically the first derivative of what's going on here, the rate of change of research papers. And can that derivative mislead us? I have to think about that. By the way, on those slides, I gave the website. That's a website where you can map any social metric onto land area. Percentage of people, infant mortality, number of lawyers in the country, how many miles of railway is in the country. There's a zillion socioeconomic, geopolitical data sets that can be mapped into that. I just picked those two for this example. You might be able to find some other metrics that would distinguish an improved really low grade from what might otherwise be just something that is needlessly scaring us. But all other indications tell me that we're justifiably scared from that chart. Thank you all again for hanging out, and I still have time to show some more. Thanks all.